Good morning. About to enter the 100-mile wilderness. I always have to think especially hard about that before I call it the 100-acre wood, which is where Winnie the Pooh lives. Anyway, the 100-mile wilderness, which the book immediately defines as neither 100 miles nor a wilderness. Anyway, it's a long way between anythings. So, Monson, Maine is the town at the southern end, and so that's the place where all the northbound people stop and resupply, mainly the food. Uh, but the way it worked out for me yesterday, and I had come to the conclusion a little while ago that when it comes to staying at these hostels, I really just prefer tent space. So rather than staying in the hostel and sleeping in a bed in the room, or especially in a bunk room, because that's typically the least expensive way to do it spend is to sleep in a room with a bunch of other people. Uh, and I came to the conclusion that I'm just better off sleeping in my tent. Sleeping in a bed kind of throws me off my rhythm, and I actually sleep better alone in my tent outside. So as I was approaching Monson, Maine, and trying to decide exactly how I would do that resupply and night in town last night, I bumped into another hiker that I've talked to many times before. She's a section hiker, which is critical to this story. And after a couple minutes talking with her, and I explained to her, yeah, I'll probably just do tent space. And it was clear that I was going to, and she was telling me she was staying in a place that's very close to the trail, which is easy for her to do because she has a car, because she's a section hiker. And the place where most people stay is 3 miles from the trail in town. So that requires, well, for most people, it requires getting a shuttle from the trail to the place. That is, if you can get your phone to work. To get a signal rather. And so she immediately says, well, just take my car, which was great because that's what I did. And I got to the place where she was staying, which is 2/10 of a mile from the trail. I drove into town, did all my food shopping, ate dinner. And by the time I got back to the place where she was staying, it was only 4:30 in the afternoon. So I just took all of my food that I just bought, and I didn't even take it out of and it didn't even pack it in my pack. I just took it in the shopping bag, and I headed back out on the trail. And I walked another, I don't know, 3 miles, 4 miles to a stealth spot, which is actually a lookout spot right there. Not much of a look today. Uh, but yeah, that worked out great for me. So thanks, Sundance, for lending me your car. Oh, I did drive by another hiker that I have passed many, many times, and I couldn't resist. I rolled down the car window and I called to him, and he like reluctantly looked because his first thought is, well, I don't know anyone in this town who will be driving a car. But then he saw me and he goes, what are you doing in a car? Because, of course, it's very unusual for us to be in a car since we've both been out here for months and not driven a car. We've been in cars, but not driven them. So that worked out great for me. So now I'm overloaded with food. Uh, and I got to figure out how to pack all this in my pack and carry it on my way. I already had oatmeal and donuts. Well, I'm trying a new thing. I got a big thing of oatmeal, and I still have the little packets of the flavored oatmeal. So what I'm doing is I'm making the oatmeal, regular plain oatmeal, and adding one packet to it. That way it gets some flavor, and they'll both go a lot farther. So I already have my oatmeal, and I had a donut that I bought from the store, individually wrapped. I don't know if that's a COVID thing or that place always did it like that. Donut, but it kept it overnight for me, which was good. And I had my coffee, and I'm about to venture further into this 100-mile wilderness. See you down the trail.